Good good morning to you. Good morning, St. Lucia. Good morning, our avid listeners. Wherever you are, following us on whatever medium that you follow us. It's always a pleasure having you and always a pleasure being here. This morning, we have a guest. I have a guest with me. I will not introduce him, he'll do his own introduction. But we're not going to be speaking much of policing, although we are open to anything and everything. He is going to be speaking about security. To be more specific, hospitality security. Okay? Before we go, Mr. Soufriere, I would like to address two topics. Yeah, two concerns, I must say. One with regards to CPEA, which is Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment.
What does that entail?
That replaced common entrance. I find something is wrong. We find parents are complaining, parents are questioning authorities, and no answers has been given. St. Vincent got their results 2 weeks ago. Trinidad got theirs, I think, during the week. And we in St. Lucia are yet to get our results. I want to know what is the problem. What is the cause of us not getting the results as yet?
Maybe papers haven't been corrected as yet.
No, this is not accepted. St. Vincent got theirs, they did the exams together.
So who's the person in authority in actually disseminating?
All right, this is coming from the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
The results come from the Ministry of Education. So we need to know something. So I asked myself, you know me already. I am probably say probably to myself, the school that they were expected to top did not top, and they keeping the results behind.
So what is it like? Do you think that it comes straight from the ministry into the school, or from the ministry into the DO office? How does it work? There's a channel.
From what I heard out, you given a code, or you given a password where you could get your results online.
Okay.
And that has not happened. Okay. The next one I want to speak about is the transportation system. Bus drivers, sometimes I ask myself, is there a standard in which a standard condition for buses to be operated as minibuses? The seats, some of them, the seats are in a deplorable condition. They tear up your clothes.
Yeah, you're right.
They have no shocks, and you from one point to another when you travel on them, the journey, your body hurts when you get out of the vehicle.
I'll tell you one of the
there should be a standard set as to the conditions of vehicles that should be applying the route.
I agree.
You can't just get any barrow and just put on HR and M on it and carrying passengers around the place.
Now, person say you're saying that might get offended.
No, I don't know. I always say my back is broad. I can carry my load.
But what you're saying have a lot of merit to it, and let me just go in just a little. One of the worst experience I've had on the buses, they have some seats, especially those on the side,
folding seats,
right?
Yeah.
And the back of that have a break, and the person is on my knee.
On your, oh my goodness, yeah.
And I'm like, yo, check yourself.
The passengers, they don't care that they rest. Like your knee is
as if you're on a beach chair.
Yeah.
So I was like,
man, you have to have certain standards. We have to have, and there's again, some of them don't have air condition. When it rains, especially when the rainy season, oh my goodness, we have to breathe each other's carbon dioxide.
Yes, of course. Sometimes persons maybe in a rush and forgot to take a shower in the morning, or maybe
some don't like to shower.
Breath, morning breath.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That is so. Man, there's something needs to be done. I mean, if I'm paying, look, there's supposed to be an increase from this one.
Mm-hmm. As well, $1, $2, $1.50.
$1, I think, on every long route, and 50 cents on short routes.
Okay.
Anyway, let me not steal the program. As we have, as I said earlier on, we have with us a guest, and I must say thanks to him for traveling all the way from Castries.
Oh wow!
Just to be here.
Good.
I would like him to introduce himself. I don't think he's a stranger to radio. He'll tell us who he is, who he was, and who he is going to be. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me on this esteemed radio thus far. I've heard so much about it. My name is Titus Leo. I'm ex-police. Pretty much now I'm a security consultant as a security in the security field. Like I said, it's my pleasure being here today, so we could discuss a few things about security, as most persons now in St. Lucia are concerned about the safety and the security. Taking a look at what's been happening lately with the crime situation. So,
Yeah, go ahead. So what do you think? What you would you this you how do you define security in your own words, in your own terminology? What would you say? What would you say is security?
security is basically an approach to keep you safe. Basically, in the layman terms, is things that you would do to keep you safe from threats or any risk.
Just you or your property as well?
I'm saying you.
Okay.
So if you have your property, which is also from parts of you because it's your
Okay.
property, so then you put things in place to secure your property. Basically, in the layman's term, this is what you would reflect security to be.
Okay. And with the rise in crime, what you think can be done? What you think needs to be done so we can see a curb to the problems that we face
You mean
Okay.
on the island?
on the island? Yes, on the island.
Okay, good. Brilliant question. Permit me to draw on my experiences as a police officer, ex police officer, and also working in the security field as a consultant. Excuse me. I want to go back to history in St. Lucia for a couple of years so you could understand the contribution I'm going to make when it comes to crime in this country. From statehood to independence, and as I'm speaking with you today and we are discussing, we have not had a skilled and qualified individual to hold a portfolio of national security. The closest person we had was Mr. Herman Francis. Now, you would agree that you don't give out what you don't have. You only give
True.
what you have.
Factual.
Additionally, you only operate with your skill set and your knowledge. You can't operate above that. Having said that, you would realize that security in this country has never given the priority from statehood until now. They has put it on the back burner. Today, today's date, as we are discussing things right here, I don't think we have a national security policy or framework. I have searched, I have looked at it.
Oh yeah?
A national security framework or policy
Would continue.
will contain the governance of this country's approaches to secure the state generally. It's like an umbrella.
Okay.
It has the various components to it. And then you can sectionalize it when it comes to managing crime and to secure the state from all aspects when it comes to development. For example, the country is developing over the years, and we are where we are today with all these new highways and roads and buildings and tourist industries booming, looking nice, hotels. But what are the security measures put in place
True.
for us as a citizen? It's only this boils down to planning. And if these persons who have held these portfolios before, they would realize that look, we need this to work with. So since they were not skilled in that area, most of them were lawyers and business people. They place focus on business and law, but not on our security.
Let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever extended your expertise to them?
I have done that, but you must understand the governance of this country has their own plan as well. It's up to them to be receptive of what you bring to them.
True. Because I'm seems depending on what you say, as you say that you can incorporate his idea.
with what is
So-
happening,
Yeah,
with
with
what
what-
So,
exists
so
now.
I'm just,
Yes.
Yes.
I'm happy that you guys are seeing what I'm saying now. It makes sense. So if we do not have a national security framework or policy to work with, how can we secure the state? We can't.
True.
We are just working in an ad hoc manner, and we are being reactive instead of being proactive when it comes to planning. You understand? So let me just give a quick scenario. If the governance of this country from then to now takes security very seriously as the country developed, one of the things that we would see that is very visible is some kind of analysis and a risk assessment being done. Let's just say for the past 3 years, we've had 1,000 school leavers from all the secondary schools in St. Lucia. For example, let's say we have three. So this is 3,000 young men and women you have out there. And this will continue. Do we have job placement for them on the island?
That's a good question.
Have we prepared them to enter the world of personal development that they can contribute to the security of the state and also develop the state physically? Have we done that? Therefore, if we don't do that or we do not have the capacity to give all 3,000 school leavers employment, we have a problem because they're young. They would want to engage in some form of commerce, some form of employment to keep them going because they're young. They would want a nice car, they'll want their homes, some of them want to further their education, because we must understand finance is the root of survival. There comes a survival trait. Then the easiest way for them to get employed is crime, because crime is an employment.
For them.
Yes, it is a form of employment because it brings in money. They have been satisfied.
I agree with you. Let me
Their basic needs, as per the Maslow hierarchy of needs, have been met.
Let me just, can I say something there? I believe what he's saying, that if the government would at least introduce those persons into a means of lawful self-employment, this would I think curb down on the
pretty
crime.
much so. So therefore,
it doesn't have to be direct employment.
So government
but let's
now,
introduce them to some means of self-employment.
Yeah, so government now realize, like we know in this country, empty vessels make the most noise, and we've been very all over the place. So government now would say, look, the governance of this country will say, look, okay, we have these 3,000 school leavers. Let us find something for them to do. Let's put programs in place. Let's just channel them through a social program and you network and you keep them occupied and you don't leave them unattended. And that is what is happening now. You understand? So that's why the crime now have been done by the young set of people. And if you interact with them, they will tell you the system fails us. We have no work, nothing to be done. What do you expect me to do? And everywhere you pass, in the communities of St. Lucius, and I saw young men and women sit down, they call it blocks, smoking and drinking, and they will not contribute significantly
Positively
to the community. But hear this, the irony of this whole thing is these communities have parliamentary representative who forms the government, whether it's in the opposition or in leadership at the moment, and why this is not being taken care of. So all of this has given me the indication that we do not have a national security policy or framework to work with. Or if there is one, the governance of the day or the governance community of this country, they're not utilizing it effectively to have us where we are today. Now, with this national security framework I'm speaking about, it also falls down to a section where we deal with enforcement. How do we enforce to keep our security? We have two leading agencies down here. The enforcement agency is the police, customs, and the police and the prisoners. So how do we get them ready and prepared for there to be a continuation effectively to secure the state? So again, you do a SWOT analysis, the strengths, the weaknesses, the threats, and the opportunities for this organization. Then you do a risk analysis with them, and then you put things in place. So if you realize that one of the areas is confidentiality, like most people say in St. Lucia, you cannot say nothing to the police. This now has dilute the service of the police when it comes to enforcement.
Okay.
So that is a security issue.
It's a challenge, yeah.
It's a challenge. So therefore, the governance of the day have to say, look, we now need to boost this confidentiality aspect of our law enforcement agency. How do we do it? We strategize. We put things in place, and we get it done. But if you don't do this,
but how many people are gonna stick to that?
But that's what I'm saying to you. So this is why.
Yeah.
Now, in the absence of this, and these things was not done over the years, we find ourselves in this situation we are in now. So now we must do it. We find ourselves in a reactive situation.
So you
now
simply
to
saying
this.
a stitching time would save 9.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Basically. And that's what it is.
That's
So
what it
now it is difficult, much more difficult, but we have to deal with it. And we still cannot operate without one.
So what you're trying to say, Making the river go uphill.
Yeah, we still can operate without one. We need one because we need the guidance. For example,
The task is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
no, for example, the law enforcement agency work with the law, the criminal code, the traffic act. This is their operational policy.
Mhm.
If you drive without a seatbelt,
It's like a manual.
Yeah,
Yes.
Manual.
yeah.
So it
Driver's
give you
manual,
guidance.
yeah.
It's a manual.
and it tells you what to do,
Or what not.
the points to prove, or what not ought to do. Most citizens are aware of it. Some use it to their advantage so that they could not get any kind of challenge through the law enforcement agency.
True.
And this is a good thing.
True.
It's the same way. If you don't have it, how can you operate?
Right.
How can you tell
Yeah,
a bus driver that he's parked in the wrong place when you do not know the traffic act and you do not know the rules?
Well, there's a saying that ignorance of the law is no
No
excuse.
excuse.
You read it
No,
before, right?
He knows.
So-
He knows.
So what I'm saying is the time has come now for the governance of this country to put the foot down. Lately they say the police. Everything is thrown back at the police. Again, the police can only operate with the skill set they have.
Mhm.
If the commissioner of police, when you look at his job description, does not offer him that opportunity to go beyond, how you expect him to deliver? You understand? They saying is the police force are supposed to deal with crime? Of course, they deal with crime from an enforcement perspective. But apart from the enforcement perspective, how do you deal with crime again?
That's a good question.
For example, there's an acronym called CEPTED, which is Crime Prevention Through Environmental Designs.
Okay.
And when I realized that the governance over the years have been building steps and pathways in the little, so we call ghettos, and it's not been done properly, and they develop these people. I'm looking at, look, what are you doing? How can you prevent crime by designing, a community like this or a development like this? Because of the way you construct the community. So if they understand,
Networking.
like I said, crime prevention through environmental design, and they understand, or they had a crime policy, they would realize, look, we need to design our environment as St. Lucia grow in such a way.
In a manner that persons will, like the alleys where you're going to hide.
Exactly.
Or,
So you don't allow people just build anything
Anyhow,
around the place and
yeah.
cause problems. And then when you come there to enforce the law, you really can't do anything
Yeah,
because
it's a
people
trap,
running
yeah.
all over the place. It's
Yeah,
a
you
trap.
said it's a
So
trap,
now
yeah.
you put the law enforcement agency
In a disadvantage.
in a disadvantage,
Yeah.
and you put their
Disadvantage.
life at risk because
Yeah.
they can't go.
Sure.
And this is what I'm talking about.
Living in
For
a
example, let me see if I can give an example of something. Oh, you've gone to most of the hotels, right?
Well, a few, not most.
When you get to the hotels, what do you see?
You-
Walkways, paths, and a drive, and which means it's forcing you to go in a certain direction.
Yes.
And
You're
if you walk
obliging.
on the grass, which means you're out of order.
True.
Simple. The design, the security consultant for the designing of any hotel take this into perspective. How you secure the guests. The architecture is a big thing,
I understand one.
and this is what it is. So they create a certain pathway in such a way. They create a building in such a way that this is where the guests have to walk or people have to walk,
Yeah, yeah, people
and
are
take them away from.
driving area.
So what you
That's what
say
it
is
is.
the government should just use that same concept.
Of course, this
Same
is what
concept.
it is. No matter what design or building,
So then you'll have your people in line in
In
check.
line, that's right.
not only people, but as you develop the country, the communities. I mean, I always applaud Sir John when I really understand this. Is when he removed the people from Conway and Castles. Remember to build this
remember.
building. Conway was an eyesore, and they had a lot of challenges with crime and things of that nature. People get on. There was some political, back and forth squabble. But now look at Conway. Conway has transformed from the time he removed these people from there and he construct this building and put a new CDC. So you see what I'm talking about. It works. We have the tangible evidence to see that these things work. So the crime situation here falls back, in my opinion, what is before us now, at the absence or the underutilized of this national security framework. Added to that, there's no guidance.
All right. So, guys, if you want to make a contribution, remember you can send us a message at 730-5388. All right.
Oh, you
Again,
call?
730.
No, phone's not on.
Or you can call, or even via Facebook as
Yeah.
well. All right. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah. So pretty much this is it. So therefore, what needs to happen now is a strong engagement with the communities, a lot of education.
Yeah. I want to say, I believe that we have, even I blame the organization I belong to, the police force. I think that we don't do enough public education, we don't do enough public relations, and that is one of the reasons we have the breakdown. Even the schools, I think the police should be, I know they're trying, they're trying their best, but again, lack of manpower.
You see, let me
Only
interject.
manpower. So you
Yeah,
guys
man.
have enough resources
No,
as well.
the
let me
key is
interject.
manpower, and we don't have resources.
May
We
I
don't.
interject? I beg to differ.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
I beg to differ.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you why. Again, the Minister of National Security, his responsibility is solely to say that the state is secure.
hmm
Okay? I think that one of his responsibility is to have constant dialogue with the head of the police force and the other law
Oh,
enforcement
yes, it should
agency.
be.
Constant dialogue. What is happening on the ground should relate to him.
True.
Therefore, he now needs to sit down and say, okay, how do we do this?
I like the word use we do this.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
it's-
saying.
it
How
should
do
be
we
a
do this?
concerted effort.
How do we move from that stage to the next stage to create that safety net that we must give these people as per the framework? You understand?
I do.
And this is what's happening. So I don't blame the police force. The police force is pretty much operating on its own.
Yeah.
But I want
And they're trying their best with the skill set that they have. Remember, I said if you do not have anything, you can't give.
True.
You only work with what you have.
True.
That's right.
So the police force only work with the skill set they have
It's
on the
available,
strategies
yeah.
that they know or the strategies they believe that can work. But who else is there to say, look, this is becoming overwhelming for the police force. We need to look at this. And at what stage do you do that? Because you must be visionary in maintaining crime.
I like what you asked. At what stage do you
That's-
do
yeah,
that?
that's- yeah.
At what
That's
stage?
what I'm
What point in
saying.
time? Yeah.
You understand? It's
When is
not
the right
when-
time to
It's not when things get really crucial
Yeah.
But that's
for
what
you
I'm
to act
saying.
on it.
Because you see, crime, security speaks to the persons who are responsible. Because they have certain modus of operandi, the criminals. And you could see the trend. So therefore, you have to be proactive. You can't be reactive. This is not when it happened, then you have to think of what to do.
Again.
And this is why the framework, the security framework, is important. So I am saying I do not blame the Royal Essential Police Force because of what people perceive to be ineffectiveness or doesn't patrol. They are only operating with what
what
they
is
have and
available
the
at their-
skill sets
yeah,
that they
sure,
need.
Yeah.
So who is to see that they need to augment the skill set vis-a-vis the challenges that they are facing? Who's giving them the guidance? And don't forget that to deal with these challenges, you have to do a cost, based analysis, how much it will cost, how do we do with it? So all of this falls back down to the national security person who is responsible, take it to his team, a government, and say, look, the government of the day, we need $1 million to do this. And this is the result. And this is why we're doing it.
And again, here's the reason again I'm asking Officer Virtue, as
Yeah.
a consultant, why isn't he part of those persons making or helping to make decisions for the betterment of this country?
I would like to ask that same question.
You understand?
You see-
Now,
you see-
again, I can just bring out another perspective of the national security framework. We have a lot of ex-police officers who are brilliant in this country, who have had the opportunity to go through and certified and qualified in high-level training, okay, tactical training. We've had commissioners of police in this country. If there was a national security framework, you would realize, or if they are using it, you would realize that the national security minister or whoever holds that portfolio would have created a committee called the National Security Committee. This committee would encompasses the ex-polices, the commissioner of polices, the ex-customs officers, and they are the one who would look at the issues as a committee and assist the national security minister.
I like that.
And
Yes.
furthermore,
Yeah,
listen to
yeah,
this. Furthermore,
I like that.
guess what's going to happen?
I like that.
There would be a continuation for succession planning. So we always one step or two step ahead of the crime situation and our safety.
Yeah.
But we don't have
Now I
this.
like that because
Yeah.
everybody view things from different
Different
perspectives.
angles, different
Now,
angles.
like
Yeah,
you been
yeah,
mentioned, if you
yeah.
have a council like that, come
Yeah.
to think the guidance.
Yeah, it's always
you
there.
know, his idea,
Yeah.
that idea
Yeah,
come together.
Brainstorm.
Yes.
We brainstorm.
And that's what it is
Yeah.
because it is. So I don't think a lot of people have been asking me, do you think we need a commissioner from outer
Outer
Eritrea?
road.
No, I totally against this.
Mhm.
I believe we have qualified men and women in this country to be commissioner of police.
Round of applause to that.
You understand?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you.
Round of applause.
I believe this.
That's true. It's true.
Kudos.
A lot of people say they don't trust the police because the police for themselves. I still do not support the statement.
Benefit of the doubt.
No, I do not support that statement.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. We have brilliant police officers here who investigate with credibility, without no fear, no favor, whether it's a police officer themselves or not.
Or malice.
I'm telling you. But we must not move away from the fact that every organization have persons who do not follow the rules.
This is something I continue preaching here.
You always say
And
that.
then,
I continue preaching that.
then again, if there was a national security framework when it comes to security of the state, somewhere inside of there would have said, how do you deal with a rogue police officer? Or how do you deal with a police officer
Who's
who
not
do
treat-
not follow in the response, would not follow the rules and regulations?
Another question: how do you investigate? Should you make the police officer be
So-
investigated by another police officer?
But let me tell you, I want to answer that question. I believe that the police is the only trained set of persons who are trained to investigate.
Again, with my security mind,
Right.
I believe that police should investigate the same police. But if there should be a question of clarity,
That's right.
then you bring in somebody to
Somebody from the
overlook,
outside. Yes.
to see what is happening.
Yes.
But not
If
somebody
you-
from the outside
yeah.
to come in. So you understand my thinking and how I see things.
I
On,
like-
thi-
I like how
on
you
this
say-
line,
on
on
this-
this line, I
you see-
agree with him 200%.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how
Understand?
it goes. You understand?
Mm-hmm. I like that.
So it is not a hard, fast rule for us to take care of our crime situation here. It's not a hard, fast rule.
So-
I am telling you.
So the person's making it difficult of that big of an issue, and you know
They're-
what?
they're just
I
not even a
don't see-
handful.
I don't see the crime situation in St. Lucia. I don't see it is something that we can handle
handle,
in St.
right,
Lucia.
right.
I'm being honest with you.
Mhm.
I mean, I heard that the Prime Minister went to RSS and speak as a security consultant, persons who really understand risk and security. I asked myself, well, what did he go and speak to RSS about?
Mhm.
Because heritage, if you're dealing with crime in this country, to me, you need to plan and meet the persons who are directly dealing with crime. You meet the security companies
Right.
that provide security. You meet the commissioner of police. You meet different agencies.
Customs,
And then you have
prison,
some
port
form of
authority.
document to work with. You don't only meet the hierarchies. You don't meet the commissioner alone or the deputy commissioner. You meet the rank and file.
Yeah, the people on the road.
And how often do you think those meetings are supposed to be done?
No,
Right,
one second. You meet the rank and file. And then you have information from them as to how they see things from their perspective and what are the challenges. And if this is a challenge that you realize that we can handle in the state, you go out of state to deal with it. But I don't know if he did that. I'm telling you. But the question I'm asking is, what are you going to speak to RSS with? And yesterday I'm hearing RSS is coming down here to help. My understanding of RSS is RSS only come to help a sister
Somalia,
country when there is a crisis.
Yeah.
Are you saying to us that crime is a crisis in St. Lucia we can't handle and you bring in RSS to help? That's one. Added to that, are you saying that our police officers down here are so
incapable.
ineffective
Yeah.
that they cannot handle the situation down there? Are you saying to me that you're giving a commissioner of police a slap in his face that you are not able to do this? You understand the amount of questions
There's so many questions
out of it
around-
because we
yes.
knows nothing. And then you could see. Furthermore, I draw back on the statements that the Prime Minister made earlier on this year. He said the police asked for vehicles, I give them vehicles to fight crime.
Right.
They want more vehicles, I give them vehicles to fight crime. And now you go to RSS. For me, it leaves a gray area for him to ask, are you not satisfied because they ask you a vehicle, you're going to look for outside help?
Wow.
Now, in continuation, just look at this. Just look at this. In continuation, RSS cannot be here for all the time. RSS will be here for only a period of time. When RSS leave now, what happens? Will there be a continuation? Anyway.
All right, guys. It's hot today. Let's take a short commercial break. We're gonna be back with
Yes,
some
we
more,
should,
all right?
we should, we should.
Okay, cool.
We should.
How about you, Hood? Hood what? program being broadcast on 88.5 Soufriere FM on Fridays from 10 a.m. Call, listen, get in on the discussion about community policing, traffic laws, criminal code, Children and Young Persons Act, theft, and anything you'd like to ask the police. Don't miss this informative broadcast on 88.5 Soufriere FM, voice of the community.
Are you hosting an event? Want to capture the crowd? Whatever it is, make 88.5 Soufriere FM your choice for advertising. The only community radio station on island which offers affordable advertising and promotion cost, which in no doubt will meet your budget with a guaranteed market. Our objectives are founded on being able to provide a voice for the marginalized, a platform that facilitates the free and open flow of information, the promotion of democracy within the media world, and the education of the populace through specifically tailored programs. Call us at 459-7200 or 731-4833. 88.5 Soufriere FM, your voice, your light.
You asked for more live and relevant talk shows, and we heard you. 88.5 Soufriere FM presents House Guest, a brand new fresh fortnightly feature airing on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. House Guest will showcase a cadre of professionals from doctors and entrepreneurs to the next door friendly neighbor. So tune in as we network the community with a platform for open, frank, and informative discussion. Only on Soufriere FM, your community radio station.
How about you? Heard what? Police Forum being broadcast on 88.5 Soufriere FM on Fridays from 10 a.m. Call, listen, get in on the discussion about community policing, traffic laws, criminal code, Children and Young Persons Act, theft, and anything you'd like to ask the police. Don't miss this informative broadcast on 88.5 Soufriere FM, voice of the community.
And of course, welcome back inside Police Forum.
Yes, it's a pleasure. We're back here. It's very hot, the A season, but I think it's a booker.
Now, I'll be honest, very, very, very nice show this morning, as always. But this one is a lot of information, all right? A lot of plenty.
Okay, before I forget, people, let me just say good morning to my listeners, our listeners. Christopher Taxi, Martha's Tire Shop, good morning to you. Good morning, Anslem. Good morning, Ian Dandis Tichi. Good morning to you. Good morning, Pigeon, Julian, Julius. Bonnie, good morning. Big Art, Biggest Place, good morning. Bophilia, Bees, Band Grill, good morning to you. Anslem, Adjuense Mona, and Madame Bogu, good morning. It was a pleasure, guys. I'm thankful to you all for your contributions. I do look forward to your. Hey, at Chef Orlando, good morning to you. Your contribution was welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning to police officers at the Soufriere Police Station, Inspector Alexander, Sergeant Khalid Xavier, a.k.a. Kakal, Sergeant Mac, the Constable Lancico, Corporal Sonny, Shabin, good morning. Good morning to the ship that's on. Police officers at the Canris Police Station, Marigo Police Station, Ancillary Police Station, good morning to you. Choiseul Police Station, good morning. Labrie Police Station, good morning to you. Miku and GFO Police Station, good morning. Whether you're on duty or off duty, don't forget, you are supposed to be performing your duties without fear, malice, or ill will.
All right.
Okay? Sudan, good morning. I know you listen to us. Good morning to our friends over in the USA, in UK, Canada, St. Vincent, St. Croix. Good morning. Ivy, good morning. Good morning to you, Vicky, over in Connecticut. And again, it's a people. I am happy with myself that I have this guest this morning. Honestly, I wish he could come back.
His name again?
Titus Leo.
Titus Leo.
I can give you his AK, no?
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Titus Leo, of course, security policy development, of course, security risk analysis, business security intelligence, traffic management plans, mass crowd events. He's available. All right, training of security personnel as well. So if you want to have a security, a firm you might want to call it, and maybe kind of lack, or you just think like you down on some knowledge, or you need to, it's a little upgrade, enhance your security personnel. You can always check on Titus Leo. As of all, he's the CEO. You can reach him at 714-3940. Again, 714-3940. Or you can just simply send him a message or at Gmail at what is it?
Stis Inc.
Stis
Incorporated.com.
STISSINC Corporated at gmail.com. Stis Inc. Yeah.
Let me just tell you, Father. I just ended the course with you on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do that part time, right?
I just ended the course.
No, like you
I was
do
a participant.
security
I was a
part-time?
participant. Yeah, I do.
Okay, well, cool. Nice.
I was a student at this institute.
Very good. Very
Yes,
good. Very
yes.
good. And I wish a lot of other police officers from your fraternity can actually go.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
get
worth the
some
work,
more-
honestly.
Yes. All right. Cool.
It's probably the challenge it was for me to get up in the morning have to be in class for 8 o'clock, to leave Jacques and go to.
Well, it's a bread
Yeah.
for you. There for him.
Yeah.
That's for you.
No, I'm just telling you. I mean, some people say it's a challenge, but it's worth it.
All right.
Okay, so we're back at
to
it.
you. Yeah, back to
Yeah,
you.
let's get back to where we left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No,
So,
anything else you want to disseminate while you are here, because I see the time is against.
Yes, and let me just tell listeners if they have any problem, concerns, they want to ask any questions, they want to make a comment, a contribution, feel free to message us at 730-5388.
Yeah.
730-5388. You can send your messages, and we shall read your questions, your concerns, your contribution.
From a security standpoint, again, what I could say to the citizens of St. Lucia is that the responsibility of the governance is to take care of us. They must. They must give us the infrastructure so that we can live comfortably. The roads, the water, the building, the electricity, and the security. They must. So we hold them responsible for that. They should not fall into fear and remain quiet unless they ask the governance of this country to put the necessary systems in place so that they can be secured. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only way that can be done is if the government really listen to the people. For example, all of this, I watched last year how the murder rate escalates.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it this year. And I'm saying, what is wrong with the governance of this country? Remember, I'm saying governance.
Mm-hmm.
I am not targeting anybody.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a change in leadership, you could see every constituency is mobilizing. Political parties are mobilizing. The governance of the day or the opposition mobilize the people in the constituency. They're very hype up to send the message, to look for this kind of support, which is brilliant, excellent.
Sure.
My question is, why don't this same approach is being used to create a safety net for the citizens?
Well, after they get elected.
No, I'm saying now that we have this challenge with this gun violence and crime.
Yeah.
Why don't we use the very same approach to rally around the community and say, look, this is what we are not accepting. So why you only push it back to the police? For example, Viewfort.
Right.
I can remember last year, coming to the election, Viewfort was hype up, and everywhere you pass is trucks and music and stuff like this, political parties and political rallies. But I'm saying the representative of these communities have never put up a platform to speak with the people when it comes to say, look, we don't accept this in the community for crime. Again, it falls back onto, do they have a plan? Do they have a risk analysis approach? Do they have a security policies framework to work with? That's what I'm saying.
That's the reason a while ago I asked you how often you should like they should, because when last did they even have a town hall meeting? Again, like you've been mentioning in regards to the gun violence and the crime. When last did they have a town hall meeting?
And that's what I'm saying. And now, when you look at all of these behaviors and patterns and actions by the government, and the opposition, you ask yourself, are these people really want us to be secured? You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Are these people really want us to be secured? What is happening?
I believe the public need to know more
to
hear more from the police.
But not
from the police, from the government.
Yeah.
The authorities need to hear from the citizens.
For example,
yes.
I was listening to Newspin yesterday, and they played the Prime Minister's address, and then you get, I think, Miss Mandy Lewis, and there's another one who called and said to Timothy, the clip that he played was not in its entirety, and they only sectionalized a piece. I said, wow.
edit like it is.
Yeah, I said, wow, brilliant. With my security mind, I'm saying, but heritage, they are quick to do damage control because the clip that Timothy played and the response of the public calling, it was a little bit, putting the government on the spot. Why this, why that? And they realized that it was not going well. So they called Timothy Puleon to make damage control, to clarify, which was brilliant. I expected that. My question is, why couldn't you do the same when the crime was rising?
True.
And I have heard Timothy Puleon on his show many times calling onto the Prime Minister, calling the people responsible, why this, why that, say something was not. None of them was fitting to pick up the phone and say, well, we're doing this, we're doing X, Y, Z. But why at this stage? It's a reaction stage. And that is the concern that I have. While we are reacting but not being proactive, it put us in a bad situation, security-wise.
That is brilliant.
And we need to look at it. You understand?
We should cast a blind eye. You're right.
So I'm saying we now have to hold, the people that are responsible for our safety, very, very seriously.
And again, let's look at the bigger heads. Yeah. All right. Let's not the police.
Beyond.
You see, when I say people that are responsible for our safety, I'm not only looking at the police, I'm not only looking at the Minister of National Security, I'm looking at the other agencies that are responsible. You understand? For like, you have the Boys Training Center, you have the Uptown Girls Gardens, you have different agencies, you have the Social Development Plan. These are the people that forms part of the national security framework in terms of creating a safety net for St. Lucia.
And even that too, I like that because most of the gun violence, you hear that well from youngsters, teenagers, young people. What are persons actually doing in terms of going to the school?
That's why I said
going to the school, like you make the Boys Training Center, the girls, like going to and talk to children from broken homes. Children,
but all of that falls part underneath the national security framework. For example, there was a program called the DARE, the DARE program. Yeah. A very effective one. It's been used in the US and in Canada in school intervention and talk about drugs and stuff like this. All of this can happen. And it is so effective. For example, let me just give you one. I don't want to diverge too much.
We're in depth.
No, I don't want to diverge too much because remember, things usually takes a different turn sometimes. But listen to this. The government now increase the fee on the gun. What is this? No, they had an amendment on the Firearms Act. Yeah. So if they catch you for a firearm is 3,000 or whatever it is. I'm saying, in my opinion, this is not effective. How can you have me pay 3,000 unless you can get the firearm? You understand? We've had gun amnesty in St. Lucia before, and all what I saw is that the criminals bring in their old guns and get money to buy new guns.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I saw that. I know this. And there were also a lot of loopholes and challenges with that approach as well. We can't move away from it. But listen, simple thing that can be done from a national security standpoint, and I can tell you this, is GUMS. The acronym is GUMS, GUMS. Gun Unlicensed Management System. You create that system. So every registered licensed firearm in this country is registered. You know who has it, and when this person buy weapons and they buy ammunition, it goes into the system.
Nice.
Police could say it. So when you get somebody, all what you do, you have it's not in the system. So you have backup, you have things to do. Yeah. So at any given time, you can say that I have 2 million guns in this country. If you have 2 million guns in this country that is a license, then they become a risk. Because if one of the guns went missing. But at least you have an accountability of the guns you have in this country. Sure. Today we have none. If you ask for that information, I'm certainly sure you will not be able to get it.
Wow.
I'm telling you, simple things like this, and this is my strategy. I mean, I can tell you. So if there was given security, the attention it deserves as we develop as a country, these things would in place.
Observe like a license. I know if you go into the license, you'll check for my license system. Yeah. But he's talking about something where you don't get overnight, you don't get a firearm or license, a license for firearm overnight, You have multiple process, you have to go to get rid of that. Are you telling me a system with all that, you say you have about 10,000?
They might have it recorded in books. But I'm talking about a system, a network. Yeah. So the National Security Minister can enter that system now in his office and say, okay, and then use that to
Serial
say,
number,
yes, and
serial number, and see what's going on.
Enter your name, Ulan Sinforian. He has firearm serial number.
Yes.
KGB 435.
Right.
License 9mm or whatever Glock, whatever.
That's good.
you understand?
Beretta.
So there's a lot of things can happen.
Yeah.
Expires, whatever date, issued, whatever date.
Now,
Just-
now another thing again can happen. It's very simple, you know. People are talking about our borders are very porous, and guns coming in, and
I say it to her.
this is fine. Of course, our borders are porous, but from a security standpoint, what are we doing? We reach at a stage now. We have to start to think critically. Critically, we have to take examples from our neighboring countries, Trinidad, Guyana, how the crime has been escalated to a level.
Even Jamaica.
You don't
No, I'm just telling you. So what are we doing? And I fall back on again for national security framework. How do we secure St. Lucia from this, knowing our borders are
yeah.
porous? We have a Marine unit. We're supposed to police our borders.
Yeah.
All right.
Are they effective? What do we need? The guns are coming to this country. We have so much gun in this country. Up to now, they have not seen the need to augment the Marine police patrols.
Okay, that's one. Give us another suggestion.
So therefore, man, you want me to give out everything? All right, I'll give you a suggestion. All right, I'll give you a
You
suggestion.
normally don't get time
Listen.
on the program, but if you get it, use it.
I'll give you a suggestion.
Yeah.
Since we have realized that we have uncontrolled borders here,
Right.
you upscale the Marine Police Department, and you have the Marine Police to remain more on the sea. As I speak to you, I can tell you I'm already developing a national security plan for St. Lucia on my own. So therefore, you can have something like probably a 70-footer, that's the main ship, and you have 3 or 4 Boston whalers.
And that's-
You understand me? And all what you do, you zone St. Lucia. Listen to this, you zone St. Lucia and you have a patrol. Every fisherman or every boat who leaves this go and fish, you put a system in place where they do a declaration before they go out. You understand? They need to go to this office. I'm leaving 4 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
This is my declaration. This is where I'm going. This is my crew. This is what I'm going to do. And the time they expect to be back. So you find that the Marine Police now has this information. And when they're out there, they can say, okay, for today, we've had 25 fishermen left St. Lucia. Okay? You could say you have 10 on the west side, 10, on the eastern side, north and south. So they have that information. Again, they will also verify that these fishermen have all of the necessary equipment for them to go on their journey.
Sure.
And there's a checklist.
Because how far are you going out?
So tell me something. And when they come back now, they still have to declare the fish. Marine takes them in. What are you telling me? We have control.
Now I like the way
No,
you use zone.
Yeah.
I like.
That's powerful.
So there's a lot of
That is
items.
I
powerful.
like I like the idea.
I will not
It's a
give
good
you
idea.
more.
Yeah, because
But what I'm going to say that now, that believe it or not, firearms comes in through legal means in St. Lucia. Illegal firearms.
Okay, go ahead, because I have some.
Yes. We don't forget we had incidents where at the port of entry, boxes of firearms were found. Actually, one was given out to someone accidentally. When the person got to the home, they opened the box, they realized it's a box of weapons.
What is it? A box of cereal or soap powder?
I mean,
she had a
I draw back
a
on-
package.
I
She
draw
had a
back.
package
I
at the
draw-
port.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before hold that,
Mm.
I'm talking trend there. Somebody's saying to you, this system
This
costs
one,
money,
Mhm.
and the government will say they don't have at this time.
That's the
Okay.
problem that we face.
Okay, that's a brilliant observation by this individual. So now the next question is, when I say I am referring to the government, do I compromise my citizens' safety towards money? What am I going to do? So if that is what needed, then I come up with a plan and say to the citizens, hey, this is the plan. I'm going to curtail the importation of unlicensed firearms and even contraband. Therefore, we'll have to put at least a 5% tax or something so that these monies can support. There is no way we as a citizen will say no because it's for our safety.
Yeah, we should not compromise our
You
security for
understand?
anything.
But if we don't do anything and speak to to the citizenry and say, look, this is what we are doing for your safety.
Right.
How can you expect them to not react in a manner?
Yeah,
You understand?
Right.
Again,
They don't know.
as I said, we need to speak with the citizens. Let
So-
them know what is happening.
So again, if you don't have this expertise, you look for the expertise. And I'm saying, what I'm saying before us here in St. Lucia, as a security concern, is that the governance of the day really do not pay a lot of emphasis, on our security. And that is the bottom line.
I hope they're hearing you clear. They're hearing you.
Somebody must be
No,
listening.
that is the bottom
And the
line.
message was-
Because listen to this. Granted, let's say the person who holds the portfolio of National Minister of Security does not have the expertise. He is a lawyer or she is a lawyer, whatever the case may be, or a business person. Don't tell me that you don't have the intuition to say that, look, I need some guidance. Let me put a committee in place to guide me because I'm ignorant in that area.
Yes.
I hold a portfolio, I'm responsible, but I need guidance.
And
How many
look for
persons
guys.
you will come out and
be open
money
like
like
this,
that,
yeah.
open up like that?
So, but not only this, at the end of the day, the safety of the citizens of St. Lucia rest in your hands. You are the person responsible.
Touche.
The national security minister. So
Touche.
you don't. So what I am saying is that they flip everything on the police. The police have to do this. The police have to do this, and the commissioner of police become very overwhelmed. And one of the points I keep on saying, I believe the time has come to move the position of police commissioner as an appointed one. It's supposed to be an elected one.
That makes sense too.
Because when the persons who want to be commissioner of police in this country,
Right.
they now have to present themselves to the electorate and say, look, I can do the job. This is my plan.
and show proof that you can.
And show proof that you can do it. So they hold you accountable. But
And
all
they
of us
will
know
fail.
how appointment goes. All of us know.
Let's not go there. Let's not delve into that.
No,
Let's-
we have seen it.
We know.
So
Let's not delve into it.
therefore, that also brings a certain level of compromisation in the effectiveness of disseminating law enforcement and safety and security in this St. Lucia, believe it or not.
True.
We are seeing it.
I think the safety and security of a country is just as critical as the health of a country.
Of course.
I agree.
Of course it
Yes,
is.
it is. Yeah.
I agree.
Of course. Let's look at food security, which is supposed to fall back underneath the national security framework. Okay? How do we secure what we grow and eat in St. Lucia? Do we have sufficient? Do we have sufficient? Look,
Unless you
there-
freeze off the
there-
back
there
and
is,
and all that.
I mean, I'm just speaking out the top of my mind.
All right.
As we speak now, I understood there's a shortage of sugar in
Yes.
St.
we
Lucia.
do.
I don't use sugar to save sugar. I've curtailed sugar and stuff like this a long time. But if we have a shortage in sugar in St. Lucia, and St. Lucia have had a high level of diabetic people and cases of diabetic, don't you think it would be the opportune time for the Ministry of Health to use that and tell people that, look, there's a shortage of sugar. This is what happened. Let us use what we have and use the diabetic approach to sensitize the people that the less sugar you use, the better.
Cutting the sugar level.
You understand? So therefore, you do some damage control or you cushion it another way by letting them know that the less sugar you use, the better.
Instead of the people uproar,
And there's no sugar.
making a big,
You understand
big
me?
commotion.
Although it is important that you have sugar in a lot of things you do in St. Lucia,
No,
like the
it's
bread.
not to say you don't have it, but just to
control
control
it.
it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just to control it.
Now, again, from a security standpoint, you don't do that, the people started behaving disorderly, uproar. Then there's a problem. It's a challenge. You find somebody go to the supermarket, they said only a pound of sugar you can buy, they want 2 pounds. He started getting on, he assaulted this one, police arrest, guess what? Because of what?
Or the other thing
So there's a lot of things can
sometimes
happen.
they go for sugar, but they're going for the amount they'll buy, other persons will not get.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody wants
So,
15 pounds, 20
so
pounds. They don't
again, thinking of the security of the state and secure, there's a lot of things that comes out of that framework.
want-
Well, guys, we're in overtime. We have 6 minutes after 11. Of course, this is Police Forum. Police Forum is normally between the hours of 10 and, of course, 11 o'clock. All right? We have an hour for Police Forum. It's on every Friday.
According to
Every
it has balcony today.
Yeah. All right. Again, I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Titus. You, again, I want to thank you, well, both you gentlemen,
Thank
for making the considered effort, the extra effort for being here. I know you guys are very busy. Of course, you're from the north and you too.
Yeah, honestly, I must say, I look,
You have to manage time to
I am
make time
so
to be here.
I am
Thankful.
so pleased and
We're grateful for
thankful
that.
Thank you very much.
that he spoke to me. We spoke on Wednesday, and he's here today.
But I still want him to be back on the show again.
Yeah.
But before I leave, I just want to say to the citizens of St. Lucia, we need to take security very seriously. At the same time, we have to do what we have to do within our own confines to secure ourselves. So you need to look at what is happening around you. Secure your property. Don't leave it unattended, unsecured. While we are depending on the government to secure us generally as a citizen, but our own assets, we have to take measures to secure it. And we have to think of it very, very seriously. Because if not, we are leaving ourselves vulnerable to a lot of things. So thank you. I really appreciate the time to be here. And I hope that whatever I talked about was taken into good faith. Inshallah.
Yes, I hope a lot of
Thank you,
people
sir.
did acknowledge. Again, very informative. Officer Bachok, you want to end with the thought of the day, or should I?
I can get to you now.
Okay, go ahead.
Before you judge anyone, make sure you're perfect. Before you judge anyone, make sure you're perfect.
All right.
Again, people, thanks very much for listening. I know, thanks for your contribution. Although we didn't get that, the calls that we expected, but we got the comments, we got your questions, we got them.
So, guys,
Okay, so
with this being said,
again, I'm going to try my best to be here Friday, God willing. Same time, same
no,
place.
earlier.
Well, no, I was there for 10 o'clock.
Okay, all
You
right.
were there for 10 o'clock. You were there for 10 o'clock.
Anyways,
Again, thanks very much for having me. I always look forward to being here. It's a pleasure sharing the information that whatever is shared, it's done with an open heart.
nice.
Thank you very much.
Haven't you heard? Heard what? Police Forum being broadcast on 88.5 Soufriere FM on Fridays from 10 a.m. Holla. Listen, get in on the discussion about community policing, traffic laws, criminal code, Children and Persons Act, theft, and anything you'd like to ask the police. Don't miss